In the land of the Nile, death was not an end, it was a beginning. To the ancient Egyptians, life was only one step in an eternal cycle. The Book of the Dead was their guide, not to the grave, but to rebirth. Written on papyrus, hidden in tombs, it was a manual for the soul's long voyage beyond the mortal world. Each spell, each line, was a key to unseen realms. The dead were not forgotten, they were transformed. Knowledge became the bridge between the living and the divine. Through sacred words, the Egyptians sought mastery over mortality itself. To die without the book was peril. To die with it was power. They believed no one truly dies if their name and story live on. And so, they wrote their way into eternity. To the Egyptians, the world of the living and the dead were reflections of one another. The fertile Nile Valley mirrored the afterlife, the eternal field of reeds. Each sunrise was life, each sunset rebirth. In the next world, the soul plowed golden fields, sailed radiant rivers, and dined beneath endless dawn. Their heaven was not otherworldly, but familiar, an Egypt perfected by divinity. Every act of life, from farming to prayer, was preparation for the world beyond. The living rehearsed eternity daily, learning balance, truth, and harmony. Death was simply the Nile flowing backward, carrying souls to the source. And those who knew the words of the book never drowned in its waters. Magic to the Egyptians was not illusion. It was language that shaped reality. The Book of the Dead contained hundreds of incantations, hymns, and charms. Each one held power over the unseen, to open doors, to silence demons, to light the path ahead. Words create, they believed, and words preserve. Priests inked every symbol with reverence, knowing that faith was the true energy of the universe. The spells made the dead breathe again, rise again, live again. To forget them was to fade. To speak them was to awaken. Their civilization's brilliance lay not in pyramids, but in sentences, in the belief that knowledge could outlast time. Every spell was a heartbeat written in ink, and those heartbeats still echo through the ages. In the Hall of Ma'at, every soul faced the most sacred trial of all, truth. Before the god Osiris, the heart was placed upon golden scales, balanced against a single feather, the feather of justice. If the heart was pure, it rose in harmony. If heavy with sin, it was devoured by Ammit, the eater of hearts. The Egyptians did not fear judgment. They prepared for it their entire lives. The Book of the Dead gave them words to confess innocence before the divine. I have not stolen, I have not lied, I have not caused pain. For them, morality was not religion, it was cosmic balance. To live rightly was to weigh lightly. And those whose hearts aligned with truth were welcomed into eternity's embrace. The afterlife was no dream. It was a labyrinth of tests and transformations. The soul, the Ba, traveled through 12 shadowy gates, each guarded by spirits and serpents. At every threshold, knowledge was the weapon, courage the shield. The Book of the Dead served as light, a lantern in the abyss. Each spell revealed a way forward, a name to speak, a danger to overcome. The journey through the Duat underworld was not punishment, but purification. The soul faced itself, every memory, every shadow. To conquer the night, one had to conquer the self. Only those who embraced truth could see the dawn beyond death. And when they did, the stars themselves became their crown. In Egypt, a name was not identity. It was existence itself. To be remembered was to live forever. To be forgotten was the true death. priests spoke them during burial rites so that even the winds would remember. Tombs became echo chambers of identity, their hieroglyphs immortal whispers carved in stone. The gods, too, guarded their secret names, for to know a name was to hold power over it. This was not mere superstition, it was metaphysical truth. The soul was memory. The name was its anchor. As long as one's name was spoken, one's spirit walked among the living. To the Egyptians, remembrance was resurrection. The path through eternity was guided by gods both merciful and mighty. Anubis led the soul through shadow, his black jackal face the symbol of protection. Osiris, the green-skinned lord of resurrection, ruled the fields of paradise. Isis, the mother of magic, healed and defended the dead. Thoth, the divine scribe, recorded every truth in eternal ink. Together, they formed a universe governed by justice, wisdom, and compassion. The Book of the Dead was their gift to mankind, a language between mortals and immortals. In Egypt, death was not feared. It was perfected. Every tomb was a work of science and faith combined. Mummification was not mere preservation. It was a ritual of rebirth. Perfumes, resins, and linen wrapped the body like layers of prayer. The Book of the Dead was placed near the heart, as if to whisper courage into silence. Priests read aloud the words of crossing while sealing the tomb. Food, tools, and treasures surrounded the body, not for greed, but for continuity. Death was not a goodbye, but a transformation of matter into memory. They mastered eternity with art, and in mastering death, they learned how to live forever. For the righteous, paradise awaited, the field of reeds, where time itself bowed. It was a realm of peace, a mirror of the Nile in eternal bloom. The Book of the Dead described endless harvests, tranquil rivers, and skies of eternal dawn. Here, every wish was fulfilled, every wound forgotten. The soul worked, loved, and thrived as before, only now, without sorrow. Heaven was not separation from earth, but its perfection. The Egyptians believed paradise was earned, not given. Their afterlife was the reward for moral order, not divine whim. The dead who knew truth became one with creation itself. Their eternity was not escape, it was harmony. The Book of the Dead was not a single author's work. It was humanity's shared scripture, copied, edited, and expanded across centuries. It evolved like the Nile itself. Each generation added its own verses, shaping it to new lives, new hopes. The words were both personal and universal. Prayers of survival, songs of transformation. Every papyrus scroll carried not just one story, but an entire worldview. The scribes who wrote them knew their words would outlive empires. Ink was their eternity. Through them, the ancient voice of Egypt still speaks to us. Calm, wise, enduring. The dead may sleep, but their words awaken every time we read. In truth, the book was never for the dead. It was a gift to the living. Even buried in silence, the Book of the Dead refused to die. When modern archaeologists uncovered its scrolls, the past began to breathe again. The ink, though ancient, still shimmered with life and purpose. Each fragment revealed a universe of faith and fear intertwined. The Egyptians had left us more than myth. They left a philosophy of immortality. To study their text was to touch eternity with human hands. You live because you are remembered, it said. Across 3 millennia, that message remains unchanged, and it still calls to every mortal heart. The Book of the Dead was never a story about dying. It was a guide for awakening. It taught that the soul's journey was endless, a spiral of transformation, not finality. To die was to shed form, not spirit. To live rightly was to move closer to the divine. The Egyptians saw eternity as motion, an infinite sunrise across invisible skies. In every breath of wind, they felt their ancestors. In every heartbeat, the gods replied. The book remains humanity's oldest lesson, that death, too, is sacred. For even now, as its ink fades under museum glass, its meaning grows clearer, that every ending is just the beginning of another dawn. And so, through their wisdom, the Egyptians never